Therapadana, the legends of the Theras. Bhikkhadāyī chapter the 11th, 101. Bhikkhadāyī. I saw the golden Sambuddha, sacrificial recipient, who, gone forth from the excellent forest, has come to nirvana. I gave a spoonful of begged food to Siddhartha, the sage so great, the great hero, the neutral one, the wise one, he who was tranquil, when he made many folks attain nirvana as they followed him. A lofty joy arose in me about the Buddha, son's kinsman. In the 94 eons since I gave him that alms food back then, I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of begged for alms food. In the 87th aeon, there were 7 wheel-turning kings. They were all named Maru, possessors of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Bhikkhadāyaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Bhikkhadāyaka Thera is finished. 102. Asaka. I saw the golden Sambuddha, bull of men, like a thoroughbred, the great sage like an elephant, Amtaga in triple rut, shining forth in all directions, like the moon when it becomes full, the world's best, the ultimate man, who had gone out on the road then, pleasing my heart in his knowledge. I pressed both my hands together, happy, and with a happy heart, I venerated Siddhartha. In the 94 eons since I did that good karma back then, I've come to know no bad rebirth, the fruit of perceiving knowledge. 73 eons hence, there were 16 ultimate men, will-turning kings with great power, possessors of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Asaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Asaka Thera is finished. 103. Uppalavatthiya. I was living in Tavara, a garland maker at that time. I saw the Buddha, stainless one, Siddhartha, worshipped by the world. Happy, with pleasure in my heart, I gave a handful of flowers. In whichever place I'm reborn, in accordance with that karma, I enjoy the pleasant fruit of what I did well myself back then. I'm encircled by lovely flowers. That's the fruit of giving flowers. In the 94 eons since I offered that flower to him, I've come to know no bad rebirth, the fruit of Buddha puja. Starting 94 eons hence, and accepting the present time, there were 500 kings who lived. All were known as Najapama, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Uppalavatthiya Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Uppalavatthiya Thera is finished. 104. Padapūjaka. I gave a jasmine flower to Siddhartha, then the blessed one, and with laughter I then scattered 7 flowers upon his feet. Due to that karma, today I have surpassed gods as well as men. I am bearing my last body. In the Buddha's dispensation, in the 94 eons since I offered that flower to him, I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of flower puja. There were 13 will-turning kings. All were named Samantaganda, lords over groups on all 4 sides. Then in the 5th aeon ago, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Padapūjaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Padapūjaka Thera is finished. 105. Muthipupphiya. I was a garland maker then, who was known as Sudassana. I saw the Buddha, stainless one, the world's best one, the bull of men, picking up a jasmine flower, happy and with my eyes most clear. I worshipped Pajamuttara, the divine-eyed one who had come, because of that Buddha puja, and the resolve in my own heart, for 100,000 eons, I came into no bad rebirth. There were 16 different kings then. All were known as Devatara, will turning monarchs with great strength, in the 36th aeon hence, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered, I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Muthipupphiya Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Muthipupphiya Thera is finished. 106. Udakapūjaka. I saw the golden Sambuddha, going in the path of the wind, glistening like an oil altar, blazing up like a fire altar. Taking some water with my hand, I tossed it up into the sky. The Buddha, compassionate sage, great hero, then accepted it. Standing in the sky, the teacher, whose name was Padapūjaka, discerning what I was thinking, spoke this verse about me just then, because of this gift of water, and the joy that he produced then, for 100,000 eons. He'll come to know no bad rebirth. Due to that deed for Buddha, the world's best one, the bull of men, I've attained the unshaking state, beyond all conquest and defeat. In the 6500th aeon, there were 3 wheel-turning monarchs. All were named Sahasraraja, lords over people on 4 sides, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Udakapūjaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Udakapūjaka Thera is finished. 107. Nalamāliya. Taking up a garland of reeds, and binding it I then approached Padapūjaka, the Buddha, the world's best one, the neutral one, the tranquil one, the neutral one, who was seated in the grass then, and there I fanned the biped Lord, the Buddha, he, the neutral one, the omniscient one received it, then the world leader fanned himself. Discerning what I was thinking, he spoke this verse about me then, just as this one cooled my body. He will not feel the scorch of hell, just so your heart will be freed from the 3-fold fire of existence. All the gods gathered in a tree, whichever ones were then thinking, will hear the words of the Buddha, which will cause the donor to laugh. Then seated there the blessed one, honored by the gods' assembly, bringing laughter to the donor, spoke these verses about me too, because of this gift of fanning, and the resolve in his own heart, he'll become a wheel-turning king, known by the name of Sabata, through the remainder of that deed. Incited by his wholesome roots, he'll become a wheel-turning king, known by the name of Maluta, because of this gift of fanning, and his abundant honoring, for 100,000 eons. He'll come to know no bad rebirth. In the 30,000th aeon, there were 8 kings named Sabata. In the 29,000th aeon, there were 8 kings named Maluta, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Nalamāliya Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Nalamāliya Thera is finished. 108. Sampayaka. Plunging into a forest grove, very quiet and undisturbed, I gifted a lion throne to the neutral one, Bhikkhadāyī, taking a handful of flowers, and circumambulating him, reverently serving the teacher, I departed facing the north. Due to that deed for the biped Lord, the world's best one, the bull of men, I reached nirvana by myself. All new existence is destroyed. In the 1800 eons, since I gave him that gift back then, I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of a lion throne. In the 700th aeon, Kshatriyan Sanabhapaka was a wheel-turner with great strength, possessor of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Sampayaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Sampayaka Thera is finished. 109. Biladāyaka. In the Himalayan region, I dwelt on a mat made of leaves. Not feeling any greed for food, I was always happy back then, digging up roots like kamba, Bilai and Takai too. I ate them prepared by adding Jujube marking nut, and Bel. Pajamuttara world knower. Sacrificial recipient. Discerning what I was thinking, came into my presence just then, taking some Bilai roots for the great elephant who had come, the god of gods, the bull of men. I placed them in his alms bowl then. The great hero then consumed them, which made me extremely happy. After eating, the omniscient one spoke this verse to me at that time. You've brought pleasure to your own heart by giving me these roots to eat. For 100,000 eons, you'll come to know no bad rebirth. This is my last going around. All new existence is destroyed. I am bearing my last body. In the Buddha's dispensation, in the 54th aeon thence, the one known as Sumakali was a wheel-turner with great strength, possessor of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Biladāyaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Biladāyaka Thera is finished. 110. Renupūjaka. I saw the golden Sambuddha, just like the 100-raying sun, shining forth in all directions, just like the moon when it is full, surrounded by his followers, just like the earth is by the sea. I presented to Vipassī pollen-filled ironwood bloom. In the 91 eons since, I offered that pollen to him. I've come to know no bad rebirth. That's the fruit of Buddha Puja. In the 45th aeon hence, there was a king known as Reu, a wheel-turner with great power, possessor of the 7 gems, the 4 analytical modes, and these 8 deliverances, 6 special knowledges mastered. I have done what the Buddha taught. Thus indeed Venerable Renupūjaka Thera spoke these verses. The legend of Renupūjaka Thera is finished. The summary: Bhikkhadāyī, Āsāṇapātayaka, Padapūjaka, Muthipupphiya, Udakapūjaka, Nalamāliya, Nivasaka, Biladāyaka and Reu too. There are 6 and 60 verses. The Bhikkhadāyī chapter, the 11th.